Hey, fishy people. I'm about to head to my local fish store where I work, and I was gonna do a quick run through of the shop for you guys. Recording this now because I have very limited space on my little disc and my camera, but the shop I work at is Aqua Life Aquarium. It's in Rockland, California. We're right outside of Sacramento. Service the local Sacramento community, and then actually we work for we do maintenance all the way up to Nevada, all the way up from Southern California to Northern California to pretty much the tip. We maintain tanks all over. We actually work with the guys on Tanked, if you've seen that show. We maintain a lot of their customers' tanks and things like that. But yeah, I'll be driving to the shop in just a sec to pick up some plants. Today's our shipment day, so you know, once a week we get new fish, or actually a couple times a week we get new fish. Once a week we get new freshwater fish and freshwater plants, so I'm going to pick up some plants and some fish for myself. So I'll show some unboxing and some of what we've got. See you at the shop. So here we are, Aqua Life Aquarium. I'll show you on the inside in just a second. Bye. So hey guys, this is the these are our planted tanks. They're a little empty because we're about to fill them right now. You know, we're just receiving our plants. It's a pretty big shop. I've given you kind of a chopped up view of it, but we carry a whole bunch of freshwater, a whole bunch of saltwater. We really do our best to keep our fish happy. You know, not everything's up to me, so if you see certain things that annoy you, you know, there's a good chance they annoy me too about this shop. But here's a bunch of our, you know, this is a typical shipment. I'd actually say this is a kind of a smaller shipment. This whole wall you're looking at is our critter wall. We've got our small microfish in there and our shrimp. You know, more just boxes and boxes of fish. We got some really cool stuff this week. Planted display tank. You know, just keeps chugging along. More freshwater fish. This whole side's freshwater fish. We've got our koi pond. You know, a few little display tanks. Here's a small saltwater pico with some black photons in it. Rainbows. We got tanks and tanks of rainbow fish. I tried to add up just the amount of species we carry at one time in just the freshwater section, and I got to 200 fish and gave up. We've got way more than that. Frag racks, we've got a huge saltwater selection. The color is really terrible here because I forgot to change the settings, but you know, quick run through. I'm not a big saltwater guy, but that's at least, you know, half of our store, or if not more, is saltwater. Would have recorded some of this in the shop, but it is a noisy shop. I don't know if you've been in, you know, I assume you guys have been in the big fish stores. Noisy place. Didn't work in there, you don't realize it so much. You get used to it, but on camera it's just terrible. It's really loud. More frags, you know, massive saltwater selection. We've got eels, we've got frogfish, we carry all the inverts. You know, more saltwater here. Eventually I'm going to flip over and the color will change, but while I'm just walking through this store, I wanted to cover some, you know, small mom and pop store issues that you guys have commented on through your contest videos. And the first thing, you know, mom and pop stores are always going to be more expensive. We've got higher overhead. We can't order in the quantities the big box stores can order in. We don't order tanks pallets at a time because we just don't have the space to put pallets of tanks in. So yeah, things do cost more, and that's not us being greedy. You know, the store I work for, honestly, I get the impression that we're barely scraping by, and that's just the reality of this hobby and owning a store like this. Little Mappa Puffer, I love that guy. Looks like a little alien head floating around. Other issues, you know, someone mentioned having to wait periods because they're understaffed. We try and keep at least four salespeople on staff at all time at our store. At the same time, we cannot predict when a store gets slammed. We get really weird, busy periods that are super unpredictable, and if 15 people show up and there's 4 people on staff and we're answering questions, bagging up fish, doing the best we can, You know, sometimes you gotta wait, and that sucks. And I totally understand that. I go in on my days off, and every now and then I have to wait around because I can't ring myself up. And it sucks. I completely agree, but that's just a reality of a small mom and pop store. It's the finances are tight, and that's what you got to deal with. Um, Another thing someone mentioned, and I'm gonna have to touch up on this a bit more, is when, you know, how much is the responsibility of the sales staff for the fish's benefits. If someone wants to buy an Oscar, a small Oscar, and has only a 20-gallon tank, and I tell them it's going to outgrow that tank, and I tell them it's an aggressive fish, and I tell them it's not a great fish for the first-person tank keeper, past that, if they still want to buy it, should I say no? Should I send them away? Because honestly, economically speaking, our store just can't do that. But is it our responsibility as a sales staff to turn people away and just straight up deny sales? Um, you know, curious to what you guys think about that.
Continuing with that last thought, you know, all the time, as a staff of a fish store, I get people trying to do really silly things. And I always try and give them the best advice, but, you know, I had a woman come in and she wanted, she had a 40-gallon tank, she had a filter, someone had given her the tank and the filter, she came in and she saw some really pretty African cichlids, and she just wanted them. She didn't want to buy the substrate, she didn't want to buy buffer, she didn't want to raise the pH, she didn't even have a heater, and she was adamant that she heats her house to 80 degrees and that they'd be fine. And the whole staff, you know, we all said, look, these fish are not going to do well under those conditions. She was adamant. She wanted the fish. She said she'd done it before. They had been okay. You know, should we just turn her away? We've got a guarantee policy on our fish, or at least most of our fish. You know, we told this woman we cannot guarantee these fish. We wrote that on her receipt. But past that, is it our obligation to just tell her straight up, no, we're not going to sell these fish to you? You know, same thing goes with mixing different fish. People go, oh, I've had a single bala shark in my community tank with a bunch of very tiny fish. And we go, well, bala sharks get very large. They're a schooling fish. They like company. They don't do super well with tiny, tiny fish, although rules can be broken. You know, past that, have I fulfilled my responsibilities by giving him the information, or do I really need to put my foot down and say, hey, no, look, I'll sell you this fish instead, but I will not sell you a bala shark? Honestly, in my job, I couldn't do that. I can't talk to customers like that. We wouldn't have return customers. And small mom and pop stores, you know, as terrible as it sounds, especially when it comes to animals, we do need revenue. And we run on a tight budget. So I'm curious to what you guys think about that, because I feel like that's a big, big issue when it comes to fish stores and people's complaints with fish stores. Definitely, if someone's giving bad advice, and I hear people getting bad advice all the time, you know, oh, no one told me that these parrotfish get big and aggressive. Yes, they're a hybrid of two of the most aggressive fish out there. They get very mean, even though they look kind of silly and dumb and like giant goldfish. You know, we definitely don't steer our customers wrong, but after we've provided them good information, is our job done there, you know? So let me know. Hope this was somewhat interesting. But yep, there it is. Hope your tanks are doing well. Oh, real quick, fish I picked up, some Celebesi rainbows. They're drip acclimating. Probably butchered that name, correct me if I'm wrong. Few of the plants I picked up, this is just one of the lights running on the 75 gallons. Still need to put dirt in here, so these plants are going to go into a different tank. I just have them in here for a second. But that's just one light, and that looks really bright. I'm very happy, because it's hard to tell how bright these lights are going to be in just an empty tank. But, you know, it looks bright. Here, I'll turn the other light on real quick. Second light on. I'm hoping these lights are going to do real well. I'm pretty happy so far. But, yep, hope your tank's doing well. Bye, guys.